Well, hello there, Apple Biteies. This is your Apple Bite Rafael Tavares talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ. A show where you and I and you take a journey together to become better writers or just geek out. Because, we love to geek out here on The Written Writ. And of course, that's why I've gathered the best team possible, like Shadow Rabbit.
Top of the evening, sir. How you doing tonight?
How you doing, Shadow? You getting ready for Saturday?
I'm getting excited for it, Long Island Retro Gaming Convention. And yeah, I'm gonna have board games, D&D, a bunch of our artist friends and people in the community. So
It's all
yeah.
down your alley, man.
I know, man. I'm excited about it. I was supposed to work this thing 3 years ago, so
Yeah,
here's
pandemic.
hoping.
And of course, it's not the show if you don't have not the intern.
You were about to say Nat the intern, weren't you?
No.
You
The
hesitated
man.
there. He hesitated. You saw that, right, Lou? He
I
hesitated.
always hesitate.
That's
It's
a lie.
just the way I talk.
That is a lie. How
I'm
dare
not as
you lie
bad
to
as
my
Captain
avatar?
Kirk. I'm not as
He
bad
was-
as Captain Kirk, but I constantly talk like this because I'm actually thinking about the next thing I'm going to say.
He's just building up excitement, the anticipation.
That's what I've heard people say, that, oh, Ralph, you build up excitement. And I'm like, no, I'm actually just thinking about the next thing I'm saying. And of course, the roaming man himself, Tony.
Hey, what's good, everybody? How's it
What's up,
going?
brother?
We should change him to the rolling Tony because I had him rolling in the chat. Let's go.
Yes.
Oh my God. And let's see. Of course, we have in the outskirts our pal Shen. Hi, Shen. How you doing?
Hey, Shen.
Should
Shen
we
the
just-
artist.
Should we fulfill our promise that we made last week? Just
What? Show her off again?
showcase her
Of
artwork.
course, we're going to showcase her art again. It's just what we do.
Shall we fulfill that like 5 minutes into the show? Not even.
And of course, look at that. We all have a special
Oh my
gift.
God.
It came from the radio, Mark Torres.
Hold on. I got this.
Hey.
With Nat's impression of me, I feel like I'm here every week. So nice to be here. Don't forget to check out It Came From the Radio.
It's uncanny.
Yo, like during the Team Rocket panel, I said to Ralph, like, yo, man, he sounds just like that's
Yeah, that's true. Well, Mark Torres, if you're looking for guests for your show, both Tom Deadly down there and John Ottinger are the best people for you to have because these two guys are great. And, I know you're always looking for somebody for It Came From the Radio, which you do on Wednesdays.
Is Mark back on the scene?
Well, Mark is always on the scene because the show is constantly going. It's just that
physically.
this weekend that passed, we actually saw him at MCon, and it was incredible to see Mr. Mark Torres at MCon.
If you want to find out more about MCon, don't forget to check out our Monday show where we talked a lot about MCon, and Ralph had a fun time explaining to everybody what MCon was truly about.
Yes. Beautiful little convention. It's a homebrewed convention where if you want to get like your foot in the water for a convention to feel how conventions are, this is the perfect one to go to. MCon is in the library, which is fantastic. I like these library conventions because they just have this feel of relax, of enjoy, of come in and have fun. Who cares?
But what if I don't want relaxed,
way it's
Ralph?
supposed to
What
be.
if I want crowded
it's
and
free.
hectic?
It's free.
What if I want crowded and hectic and to pay $10,000 out my pocket that I needed to reserve a ticket for last year? Come on, New York Comic Con, what's going on?
Oh, man, I don't know. Well, MCon is free, and everybody's selling there. Everything was pretty cheap, so everything was pretty cheap, $10-$20. Nobody was really, everything was pretty cheap. So if you don't have any money, go to MCon.
Don't try and short sell it like it's the poor man's con. It's a good con.
We know.
We know.
It's the people's con.
You're gonna make peace sad the moment he comes in and starts listening in. Here
See,
we go.
Mark Torres is already saying it's
I got. Wait.
not
Inexpensive, not cheap.
There you
There
go.
you go. There you go.
It's a deal. The best deal in town. And
Of
it's one
course.
day only because they can't do this all day. So that's
No,
why.
it's 2 days. It's
2
2 days.
days.
We only went 1 day.
So
It's one weekend
Saturday,
only. So
the bunch
There
of
we
us are
go.
going to head down to the gaming and tabletop convention or expo, the Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo. There you go, and check out Shadow Rabbit, who's going to have his own table there, making dreams come true, and the Appletinis are going to be checking it out because the plans to go to New Jersey HorrorCon have fallen
We don't have a
through.
car.
yeah.
Yeah, the car is
We don't have
gone.
a car.
Our car is dead.
Just say it plain and simple. We don't have a car.
Yeah,
We
our
never
car
had
is
a
dead.
car.
Well, one is our car is dead. Two, our second person is sick. So
3, the rest of us never had a car to begin with.
usually we just like hit the trains and the buses and that's a big trip to Atlantic City. It's worth it
Yeah.
though, but I would rather go and spend a couple of days and just go and try to come back in the same day.
We will be there in spirit.
Exactly. Because we love Deadly Ground and we love Father Evil because he has to smell everyone's sins.
Don't forget, Peace is going to be at a convention in Philadelphia, if I remember right.
Right, he's going to Fan Expo. So
there
if
we
you want to see the Gata Negra and Peace, they will be at Fan Expo in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There
That
you go.
covers everything because there's no con next week, right?
Well, it's Easter next week, so
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our
It should
schedule for the
be-
next 2 weeks. So if you guys want to
Yeah.
see any of your Bit and Apple crewmates, we're going to be at the Long Island Tabletop Game Expo at the Cradle of Aviation.
Which I love. I love the Cradle of Aviation. It's one of the best places for a con, man. It just feels home.
It is an amazing show.
Yeah.
Pardon me momentarily.
Oh, I hear.
Oh,
Well, we'll take that moment to bring in John Ottinger. Wait, did we lose it? Oh, there he goes. I thought we lost you for a
there.
minute.
No, you're just
John
absorbing
Ottinger with his fantastical Dweores, which I love so much. And I see everywhere now, ever since you told me the story of you traveling to work and seeing the water towers and then doing your thing, because now I see the water towers and I keep thinking, hey, look, they're going to come off. They're going to be Dweores.
Yes, at midnight they become Dweores. But yeah, thank you for having me. I'm honored and excited and pleased. It's wonderful being on your show, and look forward to a good time. Speaking of the TableCon, the retro game show,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
so I ordered this. Last time I talked about a game called Alter Beast.
Alter Beast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sega.
Woo!
Yeah,
Alter
but this
Beast.
is the Coleco version. And my buddy did the artwork for it back in the day, and I modeled for him. And so on the Coleco
Wow.
version,
Wow.
I'm on, that's my better half, obviously. But that was me back in the day. So I'm on actually a couple of the old vintage video games.
Wow.
And I hadn't
Like a-
seen this until about a month ago. I finally ordered one and tracked it down. They're super hard to find.
That's awesome. Remember, like Fabio on the Wizards and Warriors cartridge, like way back when.
I forgot about that actually.
Yeah,
Right. Well, yeah,
that's awesome.
Fabio is my leader, and I know Fabio. Someday I'll grow my hair out and be the old Fabio.
I used to have hair like Fabio. Now I have no hair.
Oy, Fabi.
Recently, our friend Madeline Janelle actually drew me for a special collab that we did, and she had me have some beautiful hair, and I was so happy to see.
Your old friend.
Yeah, Madeline Janot does a great job. She's a great artist, and she actually, we did like this portal type crossover thing. We're still working on Let's Write a Story Together. Where I have to get everything together and send it to her, and it's actually coming together, and I finally feel like all the notes are set so that I can put the story together. And the narrative is right now actually walking through my head as we talk. So
Spoil
That's
it
awesome.
for us.
because it's one of my favorite things to do. Let's write a story together because it really gets the creative juices flowing.
Right. And in turn, I was always, I am always an illustrator, artist, designer, and I do a lot of sculpting, which are all very isolated activities. And once I started writing for my own thing, I found out, wow, there's even a more isolated artistic activity, writing. And so, yeah, so I combined it for one super life. I'm sitting in this room, but your collab work sounds great. You have someone you could at least talk to and not
Oh,
cry yourself
I
to sleep.
love one of my favorite things, I know I talk about it on the show all the time, is to challenge myself, to either do a challenge where the audience tells me, "Oh, Ralph, here's a writer's prompt, or here's a word. Now you need to write something from that." Or I get with another creative, and we do a double challenge where I started off by something that I wrote, or they started off by something that they did, so that we work together to form a story or form something. It's always really, it gets the creative juices really flowing.
Sounds
Right.
like improv, just with writing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just like Mobius would, the illustrator from the 70s, did all that great stuff. He would he called it automatic drawing to warm up. And he would just start drawing with nothing in mind. He was just loosen up, and he would have these incredible organic looking, wonderful automatic drawings that he called them. And they were so cool. So I think that's the pencil version of what you're doing.
Oh man, yeah, it's just something fun, like it's so creative. It just like it feels like there's a flow happening. It feels like you're part of something bigger, you know, and you're pulling from the dark consciousness of the total consciousness of all the people in the world.
Yeah, that's great. And you get to be working with like-minded people, right? Yeah, that's very rare for me to be be in that circle.
It,
Most people don't understand.
it's so funny because one of the biggest things that they tell you as a writer is that you need to get into like writers groups, because it helps you to throw story ideas, and helps you to talk writing. It helps you, but as writers we tend to be very suspicious of everybody, because we were like, you're gonna steal my story, you're gonna steal my story. So it's so funny to be in these writing groups and go, and relax and try to like enjoy the group itself without like having these thoughts constantly in your head.
They're there to steal your story.
Yeah, but it's such a great platform to improve your creativity.
Right. Oh, yeah. It sounds like writing push-ups. It's a big workout class. It sounds wonderful. I
I
have
enjoy it.
books.
I have fun. If you ever want to do one, John, with me, let me know. We'll throw some stuff around and see what happens.
Yeah, I would love to.
Oh, great.
I would love to try that. I'm in. Sign me up.
So
Tell
yeah,
him to kill the corgi. Tell him to kill the corgi.
so in our story together, we have a sentient corgi who everybody wants him dead.
He wasn't supposed to live.
He was a joke.
He wasn't
Well,
supposed to even get in.
maybe he's more sentient than you realize.
I
And
know,
you
right?
kill him, and he comes
It's
back as
because
a
Ralph has made him a
god-like
favorite.
ghost thing, and you're never rid of him, right?
Last we heard, he could like walk and talk and all this. He's becoming more and more alive.
We weren't even sure he was sentient when we first. No, he wasn't. He was just supposed to be a normal corgi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, next
Dude,
time
no.
next time he'll be a god. I mean, like
I
it's
wasn't
just
the
like
one that did this. I got all the information from the people out there, and the people out there
Oh,
We
decided
threw you
that the
cowboy
corgi was
bebop
sentient.
ideas. How did you end up with a sentient corgi? The corgi's not even a big role in Cowboy
oh my
Bebop.
god. Oh.
All I know is they sent it through Messenger to me, and
No, we did not. We did that here on the show.
oh my god. Well, that's the fun thing about these write a story together things. You never know which way they're going to go, and then what they're going to stick me with, so that I have to figure out how to write.
Listen, we gave you an easy plot, okay? We
Hey,
gave you
you
jazz.
guys did a
We
great
gave
job.
you
And then
space.
Oh,
I threw this on TikTok, and I threw this on Facebook, and I threw this, and all the messages started coming in. Oh my god.
I bet the more we want to kill him, Ralph just gets these messages. No, don't kill the corgi. Keep him alive.
Ralph is doing this
Hashtag save the corgi.
He's doing this purely out of
I
spite.
think the more we say it, the more
He's
he's
gonna
just
replace
getting
all
a
the
bigger and bigger
baby.
role.
I already got a couple of beeps coming up on the phone.
Oh man.
Whoever's
He's getting text right now.
He's watching the show.
You better not kill that corgi.
He's gonna have the corgi replace all the cat girls, Tony.
I
That's what
know,
he's gonna
I
do.
I don't think anybody's replacing the pirate cat girls, especially since we got a rogue pirate cat girl, and then the planet is the sentient planet of the place where the cat girls came from. So, John,
Tony, I'm feeling regret.
Yes.
what we'll do is we'll do it either way. Either if you come up with something, you send it my way, and then I'll write something. Or if I get inspired and I write something, I'll send it your way, and then you can do something from that.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
and
We'll see what happens.
see what happens.
If we both come up with the idea at the same time, we can always do the whole thing where we do both of them at the same time. But that all depends on how much time everybody has. And I don't want to be a burden on time because I know we're all busy.
Yeah. Well, my world revolves around San Diego Comic-Con in July every year.
Right.
And so that's what I've gotten 3 books. I'm getting ready for that one, and maybe a 4th if I'm truly crazy. But I really want to have that 4th book done. It started, but barely. So that's my whole year, and I've been working toward that for the last 2 years. When the pandemic hit, I decided, what am I going to do? And so I decided to rework my book. I hired an editor, and then went through all of my first 7 books with an editor, and just it's just magic. She just, like I say, if I was making peanut butter, I could make this nice crunchy peanut butter, but I'm trying to make smooth peanut butter. I give it to her, and she just makes these few little tweaks here and there, and it's nice creamy peanut butter. Just has a nice flow. Oh, that stuff's neat. What's that?
I like how he says, "Oh, that stuff's neat. What's that?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's some of my day job work. My day job, I work as a toy designer in the toy industry, and I also do large scale sculptures for entertainment companies for their trade show booths. Like that's a giant scratch
Nice.
I made, and it starts off with just giant blocks of foam. I tack it with a chainsaw, then hand tools, put a urethane coating on it, and then I do the painting too. And then I sand it all and paint it all, do all the prep work, and then help install. And it's all has to be done in right about 3-week deadline. no
Wow, look at
matter
the
what
fur.
it is, how
Look at the fur.
complex.
Wow,
Wow.
that's awesome, man.
It's thank you.
That's awesome.
But that's after my day job. I do those in the
Mm.
evening after my day job.
Dude, man, you are one of the busiest
That's
men I've
wow. That's
seen.
wow.
And so, yeah,
That's awesome.
it's pretty brutal. And so by the time this usually in around May when these big jobs start coming in.
Right.
And it would slide right into the July, and then I'm getting my booth ready. My booth is really
Oh,
sculptural.
look at the nuts he always is chasing after.
Yeah, yeah. I made that as a giant one as a photo op. That
Look, it's still out of reach. Look. Aw.
always.
Oh no. Oh my God, look at that.
So, and he
Nice,
went
man.
up like on a 15-foot tall iceberg. So it was pretty cool. That one turned out pretty nice.
Wow.
So then
Wow.
that I did a bunch of stuff for Harry Potter pre-movie based off when Warner Brothers first got the contract. So I
Right.
did life-size Hagrid, 8 foot tall, life-size Harry Potter. The whole booth was all brickwork that I sculpted and painted, and but it's based off the book artwork. And so that one was really fun. That was really fun. And
I forget you're a toy designer.
yeah, that's the day job stuff. This is like work to me, looking at work. Like, oh. So these are vehicle lines I've designed. Imagine's Adventures in Bass Pro, and it was in Walmart for 13 years straight, which is
Wow.
unheard of. Still in Bass Pro. And then if you go in Bass Pro, the giant fish pillows and stuff you see in
Hmm.
there, I
Yeah.
designed all those, did the artwork and created
Wow.
those.
We got a
Vehicles.
fan out in the comments section saying this is amazing.
Look at aliens. Whoa.
I don't think, yeah, this is an alien playset. This was really fun. And so we made them like little army men, but with super detail. And so I made this multi-level modular unit. And the next one that was going to go next to it was going to be the queen hive with the queen hanging from the ceiling and all the eggs. Then I was going to have the big truck run through it. But we ended up only doing the first set. And so I designed this entire set. This company was out of a 1-bedroom condo, and I was working in the little kitchen nook, which was barely big enough for a small desk. And the owner was in the back room in the bedroom, and that's when I did that one. And this is just a concept piece I did. I was trying to explore other license we could approach with this concept. So one of my favorite video games, Halo.
Oh.
It's
All
so
right, no more DMCA.
You see how his helmet is on, not off. It's on.
Listen, we don't talk about that. We're not talking about that.
Yeah. So that's some of my day job stuff that I do. So every year I do
That's awesome.
3 or 4 giant sculptures. I did 7-foot tall Homer Simpsons and 12-foot tall Power Rangers and Wolverines. I don't know, and anything crazy you could think of, I ended up doing. That's my booth.
Is that one of dwarves?
Which one?
That one. I think Ralph.
This one. This is my booth. This is me at San Diego.
Whoa.
Doing my Dweores thing. So I draw on leaves and I give the leaves away to people. And then I dry them and press them. This is before they're dried. That's my buddy from work, my old job. And I made a little promo Dweores game cards where a game doesn't exist, just for fun. And these are my statues that were made overseas in China by one of the really big statue companies. The arms are put on with earth magnets. These aren't one-offs.
Look at the teeth. That's the tongue. That's great, man.
Oh yeah, they're just spectacular, and they're modular. The two their bases they fit together and make
Wow.
one large one.
Okay, video.
I don't know if it's gonna work. This is my very first attempt at an animation that I
Wow.
did
Wow.
in Photoshop.
Not
Rough.
bad.
So no idea what I was doing, but it was kind of fun. So I did a bunch of those.
Oh, I see.
Three little Dweores fishing.
It's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of the early, animation from like Disney.
Yeah, a real Mirazaki's work has always been a huge influence on me, and of course Star Wars. So
Whoa.
this is in progress of one of my villains. I built this all out of foam mats.
Wow.
In my backyard, and I had this on a pole in my booth, and the engines light up. I put a big thruster in the back, and there's engines, has lights in the front, but all made by hand, just out of the foam mats. Figuring out how to do it, I just watch a bunch of tutorials.
It's like, wow, man.
I just like the fact that you like whatever you want to do, you just let's figure it out.
That's my life. I figure it out. I like the sculpting. I've had zero training in sculpting, but I just figured it out. I carried some clay around in my pocket for a couple of years and a little tool,
Right.
and just made hundreds of little maquettes, and did that until sculpting became like drawing to me, and I realized they are the same thing to me. I
Right.
went all the way around the bin. And then I wanted to learn digital sculpting. So I learned ZBrush last year.
It's amazing.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. I did not expect to have my mind blown this early in the show. Like, that's wow, man. Speechless almost.
So this is a video game. Want to click on the video game since we were talking about that? That's BioFreaks, N64 game I worked on for the one right above that.
There you go. Ooh.
So I worked with their team. I created the cabinet that was for a big giveaway of the game. And for all the actors, I made all the costuming and all the weaponry to dress them. Then we filmed them in front of a blue screen to capture the textures, and then they wrapped the geometry they created in the computer with the textures, the costumes, and the ones that were monsters, I sculpted 24-inch tall monsters, and then we videotaped them to capture the textures also, and then wrap the geometry, and then I created all the textures for the high school. Like that's a guy in a costume I made. And the parts are all exaggerated, so then the line, so it'll show up. That's parts for Delta's costume. All vacuum form or sculpted. PVC, just.
It's just amazing. Because I always saw that some cabinets had like special things to them. I didn't realize that it was such deep production.
Was this like around like the Mortal Kombat time when that style was popular, like taking pictures of actors and putting it in the game? Was this around that time frame when this came out?
I think it was. I think it was. This was probably.
It was popular for a little while, yeah.
Yeah, I have to think this was back in the day. So this was the cartridge games for N64, whenever that one came out. It was in the it was 95.
Yeah.
About that time frame. Yeah.
95.
Right.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh.
And there were 3
Welcome to the
left.
part of the show where we just sit
We
in
take
complete
over.
All right,
silence.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. So how are we gonna kill this Corgi?
What? Oh,
No.
see. I thought we were just gonna go down
Oh
either the
man.
road of reading D's nuts jokes or doing dad jokes again.
Oh
Pick your
man.
poison.
Do dad
He
jokes.
can't stop us.
Yeah, just have the Corgi fall in the manhole cover and be over. Be done
Yeah,
with
I
it.
know.
It's gone.
So, with your story for dwarves, has there been like any struggle in terms of like creating a story with them? Because it's kind of a little bit out there, you have to admit, of just these water towers coming to life.
Well, and they're not really in the story. They're not water towers that come to life. That I based the shape of the robots off of the water tower I saw out the train window. So that's just the basic form of these robots in this land of the Dweor. They're Dweors, and they're in the land of the Dweors. There's no humans, and this 13-year-old girl comes there, shipwrecked there. She went looking for her father and brother that went missing there a few years earlier,
Mm,
and she was ill and couldn't go, and so she found a way, and so she's searching from village to village, tribe to tribe, town to town, looking for clues to find them,
right.
to bring them home. So she's befriending the Dweors and meeting them and learning about their different cultures and their different, some are quite native in some areas. Uh, some are like from the 12th century, and so they're
Mm,
all different cultures and different types, even among the Dweors. Um, so that's the premise in a nutshell. So they're not really water towers, but they look kind of like water towers.
yeah.
So but it's just kind of it's my epic story. I love Star Wars, and I've studied Star Wars since it came out. It came out when I was in ninth grade. My parents took me to see it, and I was so struck by that. I mean, that was a game changer. Nothing else was like that. And the
Hmm.
contrast, because all the other movies that were out at that time were kind of cynical, dirty cop movies
Right.
and about corruption and darkness. Uh, and gritty drug movies. That's what was out there. And then this totally different, bright movie came out, and the impact was just there was nothing like that. And so I studied not in terms of the character. I don't know what planet anyone's from or any of that, but I
Hmm.
all my whole life I've studied it, the creative process. How did they do that? Where how did he put in so many good ideas in one place and
Hmm.
make them his own. He took his favorite things and brought them all together, then twisted them all till they're unrecognizable and put them in the movie. I mean, just like Boba Fett is Clint Eastwood, right? He's got the slit eyes. He's got the mole on his lip is on the helmet. It's got a button right there. He's got the metal plate from when he cut that metal plate out. He's got a knife.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the serape. It's straight up Clint Eastwood, but turned and created into something different where it's unrecognizable. That even when he first walks out, you hear spurs. But he's the Clint Eastwood that didn't have that life-changing event that turned him into this, dark angel, a good guy who's dark, right? And
Right.
so I use those philosophies when I was creating my stuff. I was taking my favorite things and put them all together, but gave them my twists where they're unrecognizable. Like my favorite things are like Alice in Wonderland, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Star Wars, and Ninja Turtles. So I put those in the pot, twisted them until they became my own characters in my own world. So by
Interesting.
studying Star Wars my whole life, not the mythology that they make up, more
Yeah.
every day is made up, but doesn't mean anything to me. The creative process of how they created that world, that's meaningful to me.
Right.
right? So
Somebody here saying that Father Evil needs a high priest of punishment. Father Evil's a blast. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to take care of a little something. But I was listening to it, and I always found that interesting. And I thought the same thing, that I thought that character was based on Clint Eastwood, because he just looks like that type of a badass.
he's exactly Clint Eastwood. He has the mole. Clint Eastwood has a mole on a lip. If you look at the helmet, I have one right there signed. He has the mole. When you really start looking at it through that lens, you're like, oh my God, it's straight up Clint Eastwood, but without the redemption arc built into the story. It's like that. What's that movie, Yuma? 310 or height? What is it?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Right. I see that one as how you get that Clint Eastwood character. You have this absolute dark badass, and I go, how could he be a bad good guy? And I'm like, oh, that's how. I see that as like the prequel to the Clint Eastwood movies, to those to that set of 3 movies.
Right.
That redemption arc, that works perfect for the Clint Eastwood type. Russell Crowe did an amazing job.
It makes sense, yeah.
Right. But even Boba Fett on his belt, those little saddlebags on his belt. He's got the metal chest for when he got that plate iron and took all the bullets. He's got the metal, he's got the gauntlets. He always wore those leather gauntlets.
Right.
But now they have weapons on them and stuff. It's just brilliant from a design point of view and concept point of view, how they took something they loved, made it their own.
Because that's the whole thing, that's the beautiful thing about writing stories, about being creative. They always, it's said that all stories have been written, all stories have been said. The whole thing is, how are you going to write the story to make it different from what's been done before? How are you going to make it your own? And that's what we try to do. We try to make it our own so much that people go, oh my God, that's brand new, but it isn't.
That's where the art comes in.
Right.
That's the art part of it. The structure is the structure, but the art is those twists and those little elements you put in the right place, and the correct scenes for the character. You may have some great ideas for him, but it doesn't serve arc, and you go, I got to throw it away. It doesn't fit. Right.
And that's the whole thing about writing a story, about creating, is the fact that sometimes you may like something, but it probably doesn't fit into the story, so you're going to have to move on, maybe use that somewhere else,
right?
Or figure out how to use it.
I mean, Star Wars is still like that. Like the Mandalorian, it's a lot like Lone Wolf and Cub. It's almost
definitely.
Yeah, and I remember like, what was it, like the last season where people were so upset that Grogu, the Baby Yoda, was eating like eggs,
the eggs,
babies,
yeah.
And I'm like, have you read Lone Wolf and Cub? Do you know what that baby did? It was way worse than eating eggs. It was like,
but it's a baby. A baby's gonna do what a baby's gonna do.
I mean, you're not being raised by, you're being surrounded by death and all that. I mean, I don't know. It's not the best environment.
Rules of nature.
I mean, Lone Wolf and Cub, the baby was like picking up knives and like running after people because he was being raised by a samurai. I was like.
So speaking of deadly, great segue there, Tony. We can bring in some deadly grounds here on the side with Tom Deadly himself, which I've already got a bunch of notes here about a character that I'm working.
That's because of you. You just brought all that on by the voiceover and the promo that you did.
Because we all need to get deadly.
Well, actually, it would be a good thing. It would be a very good thing. I'm actually pretty impressed with the creativity. I was just listening and watching while I'm sitting back here. I'm really, really impressed. There's some serious artistry going on, and now it changes to the guy who makes coffee.
That's art as well, because in order to make a good coffee, you got to get artisan on it. You got to become the artist and create this coffee and then bring it to a point where you're like, what do we call it? Deadly grounds. Now we're getting even more creative because we're going over here. And then how are we going to take it to the convention? We're going to use a hearse. I don't know. I
That's
feel
my
like there's a lot of
contribution.
creating going on.
That's my contribution to world art. You know? I
Coffee is the source of magic. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
I actually, I thought my career would have been in the arts. Actually, I thought I was going to be a cinematographer or a director of film. I enjoyed visual storytelling so much. You know, the coffee was an extension of that. But that's really what I thought I was going to do early on. But instead, I'm the guy who drives around the countryside selling coffee out of the back of a hearse. I guess there's not that much of a difference, you know, creatively. But the coffee is actually a little bit of an extension of that. When you could kind of come up with whatever you feel like doing, and now it's product based, obviously, but the theme behind it is obviously a little different than what you would normally see for coffee. At least it was when I first started. That was 11 years ago. Now everyone else has caught on and they're trying to do the same thing, which is kind of cool. I never thought that would be my contribution to the art world and into the coffee world. But it's been pretty cool
though, because there's all these people coming up with like zombie coffee and Dracula coffee and vampire coffee, and I'm like, okay, I didn't see, like, even when we first met you, you didn't see all that, you know. And that
early on, well,
5 years ago already. Going on 5, I think going on 5. It was almost 5 years ago already. You didn't see any of that back then. The first time we saw anything like you was you.
I'm an original. Wow. No. Well, early on, nobody, even when we first did it, it was a hard to overcome that perception that this isn't real. It took a while because we didn't look like anything else. You know, and everybody thought, well, this is a cool little novelty. You know, the look of the packaging was, was that way. And I kind of left it the same way all along because, you know what, the hell with it. I wanted to be offensive on purpose. I was so offended by what was out there that passed for gourmet coffee. I couldn't understand why everybody was out there spending so much money waiting in line for it when it was so horrible. So I thought, what if you come up with something that, well, looked like a little cadaver bag with a cadaver on it, and put really, really good coffee in that, and see if you could actually convert some of those people over. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an incredible time. Not only just from the coffee part, the people that you meet. Horror fans are really, really serious coffee people. And I've been very lucky that I've made really good friends with so many of them. Over the years. It's been a long time. I'm glad that we're still out there and we're still making new deadly grounders out there. So it's kind of fun. It's always going to be fun.
I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street's got to be like a closet advertisement for coffee. I think.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
Stay awake, man.
You just got to get around the trademarks, but you can't really do that too easily. Try to keep it
stay alive. Drink deadly ground coffee.
Never sleep again.
Exactly.
Never sleep again.
See, this is what I mean. You can actually have a lot of fun thinking about all this, the ideas that it conjures up, because it's a crossover, right? There's a lot of dark theme artistry that you can think of that can go with a lot of this stuff, and that's a lot of what.
That's awesome.
This is a lot of what it's like. Late night sitting up and thinking, wow, what if you did this now I have. It's really cool because now I've inspired some of my friends. I really am very lucky that I reconnected with friends that I had 30 plus years ago, through Facebook and through the coffee and the whole 9 yards, and now they're actually helping me come up with different concepts and names of stuff for different roasts. And I'm like, wow, I really got to give you guys a corner office or something as soon as I get a corner.
I see what you
mean. Or an
mean.
office,
Let's see. You got chocolate scream egg roast, mocha milk.
Yeah, we have to update that. We don't have the new ones on there yet.
Ooh, and there's so many on here already. Vampire's Kiss, Gingerbread Zombie Roast, Highland Zombie Grog,
That's a good
Day
one.
of the Dead Roast, Caramel Toffee Roast, Cranberry Cream Roast, Roasted Xmas Cinnamon Roast.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of roast.
You know, there's a lot of roasts. And that's actually the problem. The problem is that we keep coming up with, we want to come up with new roasts, take some of them away to make room, and then we get yelled at. They're like, oh, but that was my favorite one. You got to bring it back. And then next thing you know, you have a giant scroll of roast that we keep offering. So we're still making. We're out with 2 new ones that we're bringing to the show this weekend. And
that's
we also
true.
have
Which
Father
is one of the
Evil.
things we're here to talk about is the fact that you teamed up with Father Evil,
Father Evil,
decided to make a Father Evil coffee blend. I'm like, whoa! Or are you using one of the other coffee blends for this?
The coffee that he's on, the imagery of Father Evil that's on there is on our Hell's Fury roast, which is the darkest, boldest roast that we make. And the official coffee of Hell, which makes perfect sense for Father Evil to be on it.
Exactly.
It's the other Hell, the one in Michigan. We actually met when I realized when I first started doing this, I kept thinking, how am I going to get this stuff out there and find people that would be receptive to this kind of idea? And I kept thinking of different places, and I thought, where's Hell? Is there a Hell near here? There's got to be a city called Hell. And there was, and it was in Michigan, of all places. So I went out there to meet the guy who runs Hell. It's not who you think it is, right? It's this really cool guy that I met, and he dug the whole idea, and we made this roast, Hell's Fury, for their store. And also that was the site of many years of Hearst Fest until we outgrew Hell. Literally, that's so cool to say. We outgrew Hell. Oh, I've really made it now.
Like a bat out of hell, right?
Yeah, they had to move the whole fest of Hearst's to another location because it just became overwhelmingly huge. Hell is not as big as you think. So you really have to say it for yourself. So we took that roast and we made a limited edition for Father Evil that we'll have at the show and we'll have online the day after the show's over.
Right.
And we'll probably come out with it a couple more times throughout the year because it's a delicious. If you like dark coffee, it is the boldest coffee that's out there, the darkest roast, right. Smooth but dark. Just like Father Evil. So we thought, and you've all known Lou and Father Evil for quite some time, and I have as well. We kind of started almost around the same time, and we came across each other at a convention somewhere, Philly or somewhere, and I could hear him before he walked into the room because he has that music, that chanting, that's coming out of his chest. It's just it's so cool, and I heard it coming. I'm like, what is that? And there he is, and he shows up, and he's got an incredible presence. More so every time you see him.
Yeah, definitely.
He's developed a character. People think is he cosplay? He's not. He's Father Evil.
Exactly.
It's
Father Evil. Yeah.
He's a very cool guy. I love it when he comes over and gets a sample of coffee throughout the cons. Because it's great for business, all right. He brings all of his buddies, everybody along comes along for it. But he's a lot of fun. He's a really good guy. He's a very authentic character, and an avid coffee drinker. So we thought it would be a cool thing. We've been talking about this for a while. That photo of him on the cover, we actually shot it in Atlantic City at the Showboat. In one of the upstairs lounge area, they lent us some room to shoot some promos with him that we still haven't put out there yet. The premise of it was, we did some for him and he did some for us, and we never finished his, and it's been going on a couple of years now. But the premise of it was, what does Father Evil do on the off season? Where would you expect him to be? Expect him to do? And we had all these different scenarios of things that he would do when he's not at a con or terrorizing a neighborhood or something. But we definitely have a lot to work with and a lot to play once we get back into the off season. Now it just feels like we're just starting up again now. It's March, and from here to the end of the year, it's gonna be real busy. I hope it's gonna be real busy. You can never tell. We're still coming out of all this stuff that's been going on.
Well, this weekend is really busy for you because you're saying that you're doing the Hearst and New Jersey HorrorCon at the same time, right?
Not this week. There's another this weekend is New Jersey HorrorCon in Atlantic City in September, which seems like a long ways away. It's not.
Oh, you're gonna have to do both. Okay.
Yeah, in September on the same weekend as New Jersey HorrorCon, there's Connecticut Horror Fest and Hearst Fest, and there's no way we could say no. So we would never want to miss any of those shows. They're all great. Especially doing one in Connecticut, which it would be great if I could be at that one, but we're going to have to haul everything out to Michigan, and then we have another crew in New Jersey. This is as thin as we can spread ourselves. It's very thin, deadly. And actually, we got requests for another one on the same weekend. I was like, "There's no way. There's just not enough to go around at that point." So that'll be an interesting weekend. And I know last time there were 2 shows on the same weekend, and we were trying to outdo each other, trying to, talk trash to one another. So I'm doing better than you're doing, that kind of stuff. But it's always a lot of fun. Hearst Fest is one of the most unique experiences you'll have. It's like going to a cool backyard barbecue, but it's in a giant field, and it's loaded with hearses, and it's like the best kickoff to the Halloween season ever. In fact, we're making sure all of our outgoing orders has the Hearst Fest postcard for this year, and I want to personally invite everybody out, but don't tell them there's an admission fee. So because I don't want to have to pay. There's I think it's only a couple of bucks, but it's well worth going. I know that most of the people that go to a lot of the shows travel from lots of different places. So what's a 12-hour ride? It's not that big of a deal. We can all meet me there for coffee.
That's exactly it. Let's meet up for coffee. Let's get some deadly grounds.
So you're doing that voice again.
Yeah. I know right after this, I got to order Midnight Bliss. So there's a video game, Darkstalkers, right? What's a Capcom? They don't be on me and Capcom games. And there's a vampire, Dimitri. What he does is he has a move. It's called Midnight Bliss. So he'll take either a male character, he'll transform them into a female, or he'll take a female and he'll transform them into a more attractive female, and he'll do that before he sucks their blood because he refuses to suck the blood of anybody who's not attractive. So it's cool. But the move is called Midnight Bliss. So
we're right up his alley.
Yeah.
But just so you know, the Midnight Bliss.
Oh, I know. It didn't come from there. Sure. Yeah.
It's decaf.
Yeah. Oh, it's decaf.
Oh. Yeah, we have to sneak a few of those in. Well, no one can really tell the difference when we.
That is true, because you actually had us try it one of the times we were there with you guys at one of the conventions, and we couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, it shouldn't. Way back in the day, decaf really sucked, and people. Yeah. If you have to have decaf, it's usually for a reason. Yeah. But you shouldn't want to have to give up the flavor. And also, my wife puts it in my cup when she wants to try to shut me down for the night.
I drink decaf too. Decaf is fine.
Yeah, as long as it tastes right. It's hard to do the caffeine stuff. I know back in the day when you're younger, it doesn't affect me. Yeah, well, after a while, that affects you. My therapeutic level was too high, but it's still good. It's all good. And there's enough flavors, and we got plenty to go around. Cheers.
Oh yeah, you guys.
I didn't have my Deadly Grounds mugs. They keep falling out of the cupboard. We have too many crammed in there, so I brought my Area 51 mug. One of my favorite places on earth. There it is. Sir?
Hold on, I'll put you up.
Awesome.
Wow, that's nice.
Wow, it takes up my whole head.
My theory is that we actually made it into Area 51, and that's why the world is ending now, because we got in and everything just had to be refixed because
Things were already going down by the time.
Yeah,
the raid started.
So
Things started
that
going down when Harambe got shot.
so that Naruto run to Area 51 that actually happened. That's what
exactly it actually happened, and then somebody came out with one of those Will Smith little light things.
You Naruto fans.
And nobody remembers that we actually got in.
No, everything went down when Harambe got shot, okay? He was telling the kid important information, and they killed him for it.
I like it for a different reason. I did get to go. I went right up to the rear gate.
Right.
A few years back. The young lady I was dating said, "Wouldn't it be cool if we went to Area 51 while we were both 51?" I thought, "Oh my God,
wow.
That is so cool! I got to marry this girl." I said that was it. There's no more. That's so. I hatched a plan to actually propose to her at Area 51. So it worked out. So I got the ring. Well, I got the ring because I had to get the ring, but it worked out. It worked out really well. It was just the biggest surprise to her because when we couldn't find it, she was like, it's okay, just forget about it. We came out, it was cool. I know, I got to find this place, and it's not like you can. There's not like a bunch of road signs because they don't really want you to find it. So it was kind of a cool trip. But anyway, it worked out. She said yes. I mean, she had to. I would have left her out there if she didn't, so no one would have known. You know, it would have been all right. But it was
all right, since you're not marrying me, find your own way home.
Honestly, I don't think I could have found my way out of there without her help. It was late at night. It was pretty creepy, you know. But it was pretty good. I remember hearing about how they wanted to do that Storm 51 thing where they had a whole bunch of people trying to rush it.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about, yeah.
That was what you were talking about before, right?
Yeah.
That was, right. So that I can't imagine that would have ever worked out.
No, I think they just decided to have a party outside of it.
They went up to the front gate. 5 people went under the bar, and then one lady just walked right in.
But she can't go that far.
No, she went far. She went all the way to the base, and that's when they caught her for trespassing.
Really?
I wasn't that adventurous. I stopped at the sign that says, we'll shoot you if you go any further.
Yeah.
I didn't.
They had to put out a notice. They're like, "Yo, man, if you actually do," and most of us, it was a joke. I was like, "Yeah, sure." A lot of us were like, "Yeah, sure, I'll storm. I'll sign it. I'll go," but I'm not going.
I think everybody
thought, if you actually do this, we will shoot you.
I wasn't going to push it any further. I'm sure everybody kept thinking the same thing. Oh, they can't shoot us all. They can. Yeah, they can.
So at Las Vegas, I believe they had around 25,000 people for that event. And then the original organizer said, no, we're moving it over to Las Vegas because the town didn't have the infrastructure.
No, it doesn't. There's hardly anything out there.
So 25,000 was at Las Vegas. Then another 8,000 was at the town, followed by 700 actually in front of the base.
Wow.
That's got to be scary for them since it's supposed to be a secret base. No one's supposed to know about it, But obviously that's the cat's out of the bag. But that's a lot of people to have in a place like that. There's one road in, and the same road out. That's it. So I can't even imagine what the 8 people that live there must have thought when they saw that many people coming in.
Wow.
Scary. I do want to go back. I just, I thought it was really cool, and I was just petrified of things going wrong. So I got out of there as soon as I could. As soon as I secured the yes that I needed, then I just, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, because I've seen videos where people get right to the gate, and even if they're right at the gate, they get these weird visits by weird people.
Yeah. I already got weird people happening. I didn't want to.
Oh, yeah. You ever seen that show? You ever seen that show, Scare Tactics?
Yeah.
They have an episode where they're like driving like near it, and there's like a fake UFO in the sky, and there's a military car. Hey, get back! It's all a
that would be
prank.
that would be all I needed to see.
That would scare the crap out of me.
It's like the beginning part of that movie, Paul. You've seen it, right? Where it's basically that. It's a bunch of guys two guys come over from Europe from England that go to a Comic-Con and they end up doing the Area 51 tour, and they end up accidentally picking up an alien that escaped, and that becomes, I think Seth Rogen is this guy's voice.
I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah. I remember that. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's very romantic memories of Area 51. Not exactly what most people do out there, but anyway, I don't know how we transitioned to that, but somehow we did.
Well, Area 51 fits into the whole thing. And,
yeah. Well, so the Father Evil thing came out of our previous relationship. We're close friends, and he's just the most authentic, scary person you could ever. Whenever he's just when he whispers is more than enough to get the hair on the back of your neck to go up.
My favorite thing is when he goes up to you, and I've seen him do it over and over, and goes, "I smell your sins." Oh my God!
That's you can do Father Evil easily. I just heard that. I swear, if I wasn't watching you just now, that was low.
Dude, we love every time. It's the funniest thing, and I haven't had a chance to do it with these guys yet. But every time that we see Father Evil, I'll throw a new Appletini at him, and then he's like, "I smell your sin."
You tried
so
doing
each
that
interview is so beautiful.
His sin is going to smell like dark roast now, so we'll have that out at the show along with a couple of other new ones that we're doing. And I'm anticipating it's going to be popular because a lot of people once they saw it, they started emailing me or messaging me right away. They're like, "I don't see it on the website. When's it coming? I gotta get it."
But dude,
so
the picture alone, if I can find it, I'll put it back up. The picture alone, just makes you want to get the coffee.
I think we found the magic sauce. We were missing Father Evil all this time, and now he's in. So I anticipate it'll be an interesting weekend with it.
Exactly.
So
I completely agree with you.
So we'll have that. He's usually not that far off. No. I love it when you've seen this too.
It's so funny because you're right. I've seen it before where Deadly Grounds is here and he's usually pretty close to you guys.
I think he does that on purpose because I need to be next to the coffee booth. We actually get that a lot. We get that a lot when we want to be near the coffee because at the very least it won't take that long.
I can tell you that you've saved us a couple of times just besides the fact that Kadma, you saved her from her first hangover. You've actually, there's been times where I've been so freaking tired at these conventions.
Yeah.
And I will pass by your table, and it's not even like you give us well, sometimes you'll give us a full cup, but then, most of the times it's the
most of the time it's those sample ones. All we have, yeah.
Exactly. And I'll drink just that, and I'm like, all right, let's rock. And it's funny because I'm not a coffee person, and usually coffee puts me to sleep.
Not ours.
No, not at all.
Well, you got a lot more going on than we do. We get sometimes slammed at the table.
Definitely, yeah, we've seen it,
and it gets crazy. But you're there doing work, and you're all over the place. So I can't even imagine. We're pretty exhausted by the time Saturday's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know how everybody starts going out to the karaoke, and there's after parties and all this other stuff that goes on.
Right.
I can barely finish a sandwich before I start falling asleep. I'm just done. So we try to wrap it up fast because the silver is real. I mean,
I feel you.
No, man. I gave up. There's no way I can go back now. If you go back and I start to get it to where it used to be, everybody's gonna look at me like I'm an FBI informant. So I don't want to ruin the golden image now. So.
But you are. You're Tom Deadly.
I am Tom Deadly. I thought somebody with the last name Deadly would look different, but
Well, that's the whole point,
I should have dark lighting.
Tom Deadly, not to be deadly if he looks like this. So
he just right now I'm looking at those one. You just look like a regular dude at midnight. You don't really look. That's what I'm thinking. I'm seeing in myself, but it's okay. As long as I kept the coffee with me, I'm good.
So
So
some say,
we're gonna
yes, we are talking coffee. We're talking Deadly Grounds, and we're talking about the fact that Father Evil, which you know, is going to be on the Deadly Ground coffee at New Jersey HorrorCon.
he'll be signing the bags. I gotta make sure I get my copy because I always got to get like the first one. Frame it and have it ready for the auction somewhere downstream. We got a couple of other ones that we're going to be putting on. I think it's going to be a fun show. Usually HorrorCon is usually lots of fun. It has been. I think we were doing it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
When
I feel like one of the time I think I don't know if we both showed up at the beginning of it, because I know that we started with New Jersey HorrorCon before they were big, and they were still in the little hotels.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember because I wheeled in. We had the casket with us, the full size casket.
Yeah, exactly.
And we would wheel it in through the front door of the hotel. I'm like, where's the thing? Where's the convention? We did that once to a place in Connecticut. It was a Christmas show.
Oh my God.
And I walked in, I found my spot. That the guy that was next to us in the next booth over goes, "Oh, you're the coffee guy? We're really looking forward to being next to you." And then I went out to the hearse and pulled in the casket. And as I'm wheeling it in, the people that working in the front desk were like, no. There was apparently like some type of funeral convention or some type of undertaker or mortician's event there the weekend before. And they said, no, they thought I was late,
That's
this is just coffee.
That's really funny.
So
no, we're here for the other show.
Yeah. There are times when you're either with a casket or with a hearse where there's things don't always go right. I was in the hospital parking lot. There's somebody in there. I was the girl I had been dating, and then it was a nurse, and I was just running by to pick up keys or something, and the security guard came out and said, "No, you have to go around back. You can't do pickups up front. You have to go." And it confused me for a second. I'm like, I forgot. I said, "What's the big deal? It's just a Cadillac. It's not it's not working." But there are times there's an advantage to having one because nobody rips off your house when there's a hearse in the driveway.
That's true. I feel like they'd be nervous. And it's so funny to me. It's funny because I grew up with the Munsters, and they had that freaking badass hearse hot
coach,
rod.
the Munsters coach.
Oh my God, I love that car.
I still want to ride in that. We make Butch Patrick's coffee. Eddie Munster.
Cool. Oh, that's right. And he's supposed to be there this weekend, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He'll be there as well. I reached out to him a couple of days ago, and we were actually both at Hearst Fest at the same time one year, and he had both that and the Dragula, the casket car.
Right.
And I so wanted a ride, and just all the times he and I have been in the same place and with the cars and everything, I still never had a chance to take a ride out, and I have to hit him up one time. That's just slip him some more coffee, and
that's just a fantastic car, man.
That's a lot of fun.
So to me, hearses are cool, and I've actually seen other people have hearses, and I know of other hearse cars that were transformed into something else.
Just because somebody's dead in it doesn't make it a hearse,
Actually, some deadheads who have a hearse.
You know what? A lot of people use them for surfboards. People go surfing and they bring their hearses. They because you can fit everything in there. You can fit quite a bit in there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, look at what Son of Saint is saying. Back in the day, he used to drive us drunk folk home, and
I used mine to go get a Christmas tree.
That actually makes sense too.
No, it's great. You can put it inside. You don't have to strap it to the roof.
It actually fits. Yeah.
It freaks out the guy they hired to play Santa, ringing the bell. It's great. You just pull in and you're like, where do I get the tree? It's awesome.
I think horror and Christmas go hand in hand. I don't know.
We've had this discussion before.
There are a lot of people that tell they have traditions that they tell horror stories into Christmas Eve.
Story.
I mean, Christmas Carol. It's a ghost story. It's a horror story.
We actually did that for Christmas, You know, the
Yeah.
Bit and Apple got together, and Les, Cadma, and I wrote our ghost stories
Oh,
to
I'm sure
tell.
Les knows about
Yeah.
that. I'm sure Les knows about that. Yeah, about
Oh,
the horror
definitely. Yeah.
stories. Yeah, yeah.
I want to get a lift kit in mine so I can just make it bounce. You know, because that was, you know, I'm just trying to see if I can amp up the whole experience a little. I'm just afraid it's such a long vehicle. I'm afraid it's going to snap in half like the Titanic. You know?
Oh wow, yeah. I didn't think about that.
And you
Just
don't
play
want
some
that. I mean, you don't want
just play
something
some
that says deadly.
monsters. Just play some
You don't
monsters.
want a giant. You don't want something with that says deadly on the back of it, all tangled up in pieces on the side of the highway. It's not, you know.
Oh my god.
That's all you need. Yeah.
That'd just be deadly.
So you're all not going to be at New Jersey this weekend.
Oh, we tried, and it's just not working. I know Les isn't feeling well, and he's our other driver. And then Lou is our other driver, and his car is totaled, so he doesn't have a car right now.
So I'll tell you what, I'll send the hearse down for you.
We'll pick you up in the hearse.
Do you know? There's actually someone who asked me to do that. You know David Naughton. He's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
American Werewolf in London there,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten to know him over the last few years. They're from Connecticut. His family's in Connecticut, and there was a time he was going to be coming back for a family reunion, and he asked me, and since we're in Connecticut, is there any way you can like swing by halfway when it's over and just come up to the door and say, "I'm here for David," with it? And I'm like, we somehow we couldn't work out the
oh my god,
the time and the dates, but I keep putting it out there for him. And anytime you're ready for another one, let me know. I will fuel up the hearse and I'll get it ready.
Here for your son.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It's one of the cool things about doing the shows, and especially over time. You obviously get to meet a lot of very cool people and a lot of celebrities that are just like everyone else, but have had more of a colorful life. So I take great pride in being able to deadly ground them all. So one at a time.
That's pretty cool, and we've seen the pictures where the stars like to come over and have your coffee. So
yeah, I like to think it's me, but it's the coffee. You know, listen. If I knew this would make me popular, I would have done it in high school. It would have kept me from getting beat up a lot. You know.
You know, it's funny you say that because I feel like that's what got me out of a bunch of trouble before, especially when I was younger, because I was already the weird kid, and you know, you start messing with the weird kid and stuff happens.
Same here. You know, it's they were right. You know, I was a little.
I never disagreed with them, and that was the problem. He goes, "Oh my god, you're weird," and I'll be like, "Yes, I am weird."
So if you do that back when you go to the reunions, that would.
Oh my god! If I ever went to one of the reunions, which I haven't done yet, I'd show up. I'll probably go, dude, pick me up in the hearse. Let me go. Because that's what
I can do that. I'll be your driver.
They would be expecting me to do something.
Yo, I think Rob was okay in high school. That height he is now, that's the same height he was like all his life, man. He's always been like he's been that same height like since elementary. So
let me know.
I think you were okay. I don't know.
No one's gonna mess with you. Let me know. I'll do it. I got time.
I'll see if I can find my old coat because I had this whole Undertaker look when I was in high school going into college.
Yeah, that's
oh my god, I forgot about it.
We'll set you up in the back. You just open up the rear door and just crawl out that way.
Oh, Ralph, you were a goth. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you did have a bad experience. I don't know. In Brooklyn? Oh, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you remember the big full black coat and the long hair.
Oh.
You gotta start pulling out the pictures and putting them up.
I don't even know if I can find any. If I find some, I'll put them up. I
try to burn a lot of the ones I had of me back in the day. I didn't. But now it'd be kind of cool to look back and look at what I've become now.
Exactly. Look where I am now, where I was then.
Right. Well, hey, it's a living, and it's fun. So I have a blast, and I've obviously made the best connections and the best friends that over coffee. A lot of good things can happen over a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, John was actually agreeing with you before because he needs the elixir of creativity called coffee.
Actually, it's true. It helps you. Well, that's how some of the ideas started.
Dude,
up late at night and you're writing.
Tom
just like
Deadly here is using caffeine to become who he is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start writing this together.
Magic.
I sense we're gonna have like a powwow where we're gonna have to sit down and write it all out and bring the cameras out and start working.
Oh, I like this, and it's funny. The more I do it, the more I'm like, this could be a mascot for Deadly Grounds because it's Tom Deadly. I use my coffee to become the hero I am.
We're gonna have to get you we have to tailor made a Deadly outfit for you, a superhero with a giant D on your chest with wings in it. Ooh,
Tom Deadly.
See, this is what happens when. This is what happens when you're up late at night and you're doing a little too much caffeine and the ideas start rolling.
This is just the beginning. Usually around 3 a.m. that's when things get really interesting.
I'm sensing all the creative guys here are probably the same way. Is most of your work get done in the middle of the night?
Yeah. A lot of my writing, my big writing ends up happening around 3 a.m. And sometimes it's me jumping out of bed or it's just me being awake the whole time. So
I can get it because probably at that hour, not a lot of people are bothering you, right? So I used to do the same thing when I was editing video. I'd make sure I'd got up really, really early because if I started like at 5:30, 6 o'clock, which is not always cool at that hour, but at least I had several hours of nonstop working. I could work through different things without getting interrupted.
I mean, you're up at 3 a.m. high off of caffeine, man. You get your brain just works differently. You get so many great ideas.
Yeah.
You get so many great ideas. When you wake up in the morning, I don't know. People are like, wow, how did I come up with that? It's like,
yeah, I remember some of that. Whenever wisps of smoke would come out of my ears, I would back off a little bit.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I thought we were going to get there tonight.
Now, were you saying something? I thought
I said I used to be the same way. I used to be super early. A couple of times for the bit and Apple, I've finished editing videos at 2 a.m. Let that render, go to sleep, wake up at 4, finish rendering the next one, and then posting it up, go back to sleep. And then I took a job in security, and now my whole schedule's out of whack.
The rendering part, I totally remember doing things like you probably used a lot of the same software when you're compositing things, with After Effects and all that. Back in the day when you had to render when actually before HD came along, I remember doing stuff and it didn't take nearly as long to render. And then of course, the bigger the files and now 4K and everything, things would take a lot longer. But it was still very helpful because that's when you take your little nap. In between, like you mentioned. So
yeah. I do the editing too. So especially when Nat wasn't here, it'd be like me half falling asleep, going, okay, press the button, let it render, so I can. And then you can take a nap. Come on.
But then you make sure the volume is really high on the computer, so when it makes that sound, it actually wakes you up. I think pretty much. I'm beginning to sense that we've all done this a lot.
For a good majority.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right, guys. So I see we're at our mark. John, let's run things over here. And okay.
I got my drawing done.
Oh, I was wondering if you were ready. I was going to give you a little more time, but if you're ready to show it, I'll put you up. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm done. So on my lives I do on Facebook every Sunday, I do a drawing. And this is my first Dweores book as a sketchbook. And I drew all these on my train ride to work. Right. And so my second sketchbook is the artwork I do on my lives, and I'm giving. I
Wow.
just drew this one for you guys.
You just drew
I'm
this.
gonna
Wow.
give this to anyone that likes and comments on this video is going to be put in a drawing. I'm going to come back on live, or Ralph is, I'm not sure yet, and we're going to spin the wheel and give this away to anyone in the continental USA. And so I'm not going to own any of the original artwork for my next sketchbook. I'm giving it all away to the fans.
Beautiful.
So this is your chance to get
Mhm.
some free Dweores artwork. And this is kind of based off a conversation. We're talking about water towers, right? And how they became Dweores. There's a coffee pot with a skull on it.
That's great.
That's nice.
Just
Oh my
some
God.
elements from our conversation. And so
That is just amazing, man.
to anyone that likes and comments on this video on Facebook or
We're on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
We'll check all those, and in 24 hours we'll put the names all on the prize wheel, and you'll get a chance to win.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, it's so funny you're doing this. It's almost like the challenges we were talking about before. So you took this conversation we're having and you went with the flow, you know, and it actually showcases what we were talking about before when you challenge yourself with what's happening at the moment, you know, and do something with it.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to draw. And so I like you said, I just drew the keywords and some of the conversations. I just kind of flowed into this piece.
And that's just such a beautiful, amazing piece. I really like it. Yeah.
Well, if you like and comment on the video, Ralph, you can be in it too. It's open to anyone.
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. I know what you're talking about, and I've been trying to win. I haven't won yet. So
yeah.
All right, Tony, come on. You and me, we're gonna bot the whole entire video.
I can see it. These two are gonna be like.
My name is Noman Roney.
Noman Roney. So, John, where can they find you? Tell them first of all, let them know about San Diego, because I know you're going to be there. And if things were working the way they're supposed to, we might be able to see you there. But this year doesn't look like we're going to San Diego.
We are coming? All
Go
right.
ahead. So tell them where to find you, where you're going to be, all the good nitty-gritty stuff.
Well, I only do one con a year, and it's San Diego Comic-Con. I've got a 10x10 booth. It's filled with sculptures of the Dweores. It's like a little slice of the world. And I'm on Facebook. So find me on Facebook, John Ottinger. Friend me, and then you'll get notifications of my lives every Sunday, usually 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll doodle, and I'm giving away all the artwork every Sunday to a viewer. And I'm going to have some special prize besides the artwork this Sunday.
I really enjoy watching it. It's comforting. It kind of reminds me of Bob Ross. You know, you're there, you're talking about your stuff. You know, you're giving people information. And you know, it's been fun to see people win the pieces of art. I know Enrique won one of the ones more recently, and he's doing something. I think he inked it, and he's doing something with it too.
He inked it, and I think he's going to get it colored.
Yeah,
and might do prints of it or something.
Nice.
So it's really fun. It's just the show evolved into that. I've only done like 10 episodes.
Yeah,
but
each one is fun. I can tell you guys. So check John Ottinger out. See if you can win one of his beautiful pieces, because these dwarves are cute as heck, man. That's why I had to get the stuff, you know. And then when I got this stuff, I even bought some of the digital stuff because I wanted to make sure I kept up with the story.
Yeah. I have 4 more books coming. Number 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool. So anyway, that find me on Facebook. It's the best thing now, or San Diego. Thank you.
I know we're trying to make it to San Diego. That's one of the goals for Mitten Apple TV, is to make it to San Diego. I know Mark Torres He's
From
already
it
made it there a
came
couple
from the
times.
radio, had a panel over at San Diego Comic-Con. I forget who exactly we were interviewing, but it was a great show. Great show. We got to talk with a lot of people. You can go check that out on our It Came From the Radio Facebook page, if I remember correctly. We have that somewhere posted up. And yeah, back to you, Ralph.
So Tom Deadly, let the people know where you're gonna be, where they can find you, all the nitty gritty good stuff.
Well,
Because
you can
Deadly Ground
find
Coffee just has to be drunk.
you can find the best way to find where we're going to be next, or things that are going to be happening. If you go to getdeadly.com,
I saw that. Yeah.
or if you go to sickofstarbucks.com, you'll come right to us. Yeah, they're not going to like that. Once they realize I got that domain, I'm sure they'll have a conversation with me like all the other ones do. But
I'm surprised they haven't had a conversation with you already.
The other one did. The Duncan people didn't find it all too amusing, but that's going to happen from time to time, I suppose.
Right.
But we do have our event list between now and the end of the year, and I think there's a couple more that are going to be put on there coming up soon, and we'll see where it goes from there. There's probably we're limited on how many we can do in a certain in a year. I know there's quite a few people that do them every weekend, and we can't. We'll burrow through a lot of coffee every time we have a show, and we are small batch. We make it by hand, so we have only so much.
Wow.
And the other part of it is we don't like having too much of it on hand to begin with. We don't like letting anything sit for any length of time.
Well, I did work for Starbucks, so I kind of understand what you're saying, because they have strict guidelines on how long coffee can stay up, how long the espresso can stay going, and there's just rules that you have to follow on all that stuff because it kind of degrades the coffee.
Yeah, and we don't have anything that really lasts very long in stock, so it goes, and that's why from time to time you'll see a lot of these sold out listings on our order page, because that does happen from time to time. We did Monster Mania a few weeks ago, and it was
I see it here.
It was a very, very crazed show. Happy to do it. Can't wait to go back again, but we'll be doing that one again in August. But so if you go to the website, certainly go to the social media and follow us, because we'll be posting things on there obviously as often as possible. We're not as good posting. Like, we don't post it every 10 minutes.
Right.
we get distracted. We go on coffee breaks and things like that happen.
But I feel like you guys are more on your social media. You're more active, especially like on your Instagram or your Facebook. I feel like you're constantly giving more information there.
We try, but certainly during the shows we try.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cool things that are happening, but it also gets way too crazy sometimes, and it takes you maybe a good couple of hours before you can post out anything, and by that point it's kind of old. It's just the nature of the show. Sometimes they get very, very crazed, and it's hard to really catch your breath. A convention is the only place where it takes you 6 hours to eat a sandwich, because you just can't get through it.
No, I shouldn't know what you're talking about, and I know John has to agree with you too. There's times where you, and I've done booths, and I've done media, and I've done every aspect of conventions, and it's just so weird to me how you can try to eat something, and 4 hours later you're still trying to eat that.
Yeah. Yeah, John. I'm sure John knows if he does San Diego. I mean, that's got to be a very.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I don't know when you have time for anything during a show like that.
Yeah, no, I'm wrecked after that show so bad. There's no time to eat. There's no time for anything, and it's just a dream. It just goes by because I'm so tired from preparing for it. Then it hits, and I'm on the floor standing, talking to people, which I'm super shy, but I just hide it really well now. So I have to.
I do the same thing. I hide behind the coffee, so it works out really well.
Right. I hide behind my artwork. Look at this. Leave me alone. Look at this.
And speaking of artwork, I had to bring this up because it's such a beautiful piece, and I know that you did this cover for Phil's tragedy, but it's an
Oh,
amazing cover, man.
thank you so much.
Wow,
Yeah,
this is just beautiful.
he had a cover contest, and so I'm a big supporter of Phil. So I did a piece for him just to support him, and I like it's different. I hadn't read any of the stories. I only saw the character, and so I don't know. This is what I came up with. It was a lot of
It's
fun to
beautiful,
do, and
man.
hopefully
You
it
you
helped
you
Phil.
feel the dancer in her. You feel the energy of who she is, and just the psychedelic colors just like really bring you into it. It's like a dream and not a dream at the same time. I just had to like bring it up because I saw this thing and I saw that you liked it today, and it reminded me that I was there, and I was like, I got to bring this up when we're on the show.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just heard a little bit about her, so I made her like she's doing this dance, but it's a nightmare, and it's death, and it's I don't know. That's what I came up with
You did a great
a
job.
little bit I
Yeah,
knew, the tiny grain I knew about the character.
that's pretty good. Again, that's that whole creative thing we were talking about. It. You took the bits and pieces that you knew, and then you did something with it.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully it helps Phil a little bit. And I read his first comic, Tragedy, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, the
He
first
hit
issue
the
is
ground
amazing. Yeah,
running.
yeah.
It's just so solid.
Hmm.
So interesting, and I love the balance of the characters from the mob guys to the powered guy. It's
Yeah,
just just
amazing.
great.
He,
Hit the
he's a
ground
great
running.
writer. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he puts a good story together. I've gotten to read up to I think 8, and I love how no character in this is like out there, meaning that they all have meaning to the story. If they're in the book, they have meaning to the story, and as he progresses, organically you see this.
Yeah, I can't wait to read the next one.
Yeah, that's a definite, man. And of course, my little thing here is that John has done a little piece for me that I can't talk about really right now, but it's a Hugbert piece. Or well, I can't show it. I can talk about it, but I can't show it. At least until all the copyright stuff is fixed. So I don't, the paranoid writer in me can be relaxed for a bit. And I appreciate that you did that, John. I can't wait to show it because I loved it. I just loved it. And that's why I wanted to talk about it too. So
Oh, good, good. Yeah, and same thing. I was such a fan of yours, and I thought if I could do this small little thing that might help in some way, I am all in.
same
So,
thing with us here. That's why we love having you on. You can come on anytime you want. You can come on and geek out with us. Same thing with you, Tom. Anytime you want to come on, geek out, just have some fun because we're all geeks. We all love this life.
I'm ready to geek out at a moment's notice. Anytime.
And with John, we love having you on because it's always a great conversation. We got so into the creative aspect of things today that it was great to like have a nice creative talk.
it's the only place where I could talk to somebody about it. No, in my regular life, there's zero people that understand what I'm talking about.
And it's
Zero.
funny because I feel you, even though I am surrounded by a lot of creative people, but there's times where getting somebody to talk geek is like pulling teeth.
I've got the geek down pretty solid with the geek.
I can tell, man, dude, you threw some great geek stuff out today, and Tom, besides the Tom Deadly thing and all these little notes I have in here already, it's always great because we do that in the conventions. We just sit there, we'll talk about movies, we'll talk about people, we'll talk about the actors. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it's all encompassing. We go full circle with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like people don't understand that geek is more than just one thing. It's a broad definition of things, because you can be a geek for sports. Even though my sports friends don't like when I say that. But it's pretty much is the same thing. It's the same. You're a geek for sports, or you're a geek for the other things. It's just that they don't like you to say stuff like that because they're like, I am not a geek. I do sports.
No, we're a special kind of geek.
Fantasy football. You make up
Exactly.
your own teams, and
I mean, it's just
uh-huh.
it's just for whatever reason, some things are more socially acceptable than others. I don't know. I think a lot of people have their brains full of like useless information. It's just I don't know. Like I know some people that they'll watch every single movie that's nominated for the Oscars before the Oscars. I'm like, that's like the geekiest thing I could. I don't know. I would not watch half of those movies. Like,
Yeah, completely. And as somebody who
like, that's
geeks
like
out for movies, I know exactly what
I'm
you're
like.
talking about.
No,
All right, guys, if I keep this up, we'll be geeking out all night. So let's go and say, okay, it's time to do what we usually do here. And John and Tom, what would be your last words to share with the audience?
John?
Well, join me and try to win a drawing and enjoy the Dweores on my
Dude,
Facebook.
you guys want to do that.
Right? And
for me,
that's all. Yeah.
For me, it's mostly just a great big thank you. actually. I enjoyed spending the time with everyone here tonight, and you always get something out of this, right? Whenever you're when you have other creative people that are on, you always end up getting something that you didn't have before, or a different viewpoint, or just to be able to appreciate some of the artistry and the work that you do. Thank you there, and also thank you just also to everyone else, because the journey has been incredible. I've had a great time, and I want to keep on having a great time, a great caffeinated time. So let's keep the geek thing going because it's cool. Let's do it.
Tony?
Yes.
You're on.
Oh, is this the exit thing?
Yeah.
It's the exit thing.
Oh, okay. Happy Easter.
Oh my
Let's
God.
see. What did I have lately? Oh, my write-up's doing really well. It has a lot of views, and I think it's because of what happened on Monday, where people expect me to start talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock because of your episode, but not. So,
I'm proud of us. We didn't talk about that until right now.
Now we can go
I should have mentioned it actually. I should have mentioned it.
Yeah, but Tony does have a great write-up. Check it out. It's on the Bit and Apple page, and I've also put it on a couple of other groups. So, Tony does a write-up every Tuesday. Tony's Tuesday type up.
Not every Tuesday.
Hey, I'm going to say every Tuesday, all right? So check it out. He geeks out and stuff and gives you reviews about what he's thinking about what he's seen.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool. Yeah. I got reviewed. What did I review lately? I think I reviewed Princess Connect.
Wait,
Kaisen.
You watched Princess Connect? Really?
Yeah, I watched Princess Connect. Yeah, I really watched it. Yeah.
Did you play the game?
No, I played Dragalia. I played Dragalia Lost, and Princess Connect had a cameo in like a crossover.
Yeah, Dragalia Lost.
It's made by the same people, so.
Dragalia Lost. Shen will tell you a lot about Dragalia Lost.
I played Dragalia Lost just because Mega Man's in it. I control Mega Man every day. I don't.
Oh, you started from back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I got my own Team Capcom and everything. Like so.
I came in for the Fire Emblem crossover. Shen played it since launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's understandable it wasn't doing very well.
Yeah. No, there's a point where you have to grind forever to continue the story. That's what
no, like just like performance numbers. That game has been in the red since year one.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to spend any money to play it, so. You don't. Like, I've never spent a dime on it, so which is not good, I guess. It's ending in July, so.
Yeah.
All right, Nat, you're back. Is that your final word, or you're saying something else?
No. I First of all, I have several final words. How dare you lower my degeneracy down to simply a geek? I am a weeb, sir. I am a weeaboo. How dare you call me?
We're all geeks.
No. That's making me.
If you're a weed geek, if you're this geek, if you're that geek,
there's always different denominations of geek.
Exactly.
You undervalue my degeneracy in the anime arts, sir. How dare you? Watashi wa otaku desu.
Oh man.
Otaku desu.
All right, so that's that final word.
Oh,
Uh,
Ralph, when you worked at Starbucks, did you actually write people's names on the cup, or did you give them like their own little names?
No, because I worked in the hospital, so it was an offshoot of Starbucks.
Oh.
So we didn't do that.
I can just imagine you, Roman Tony, like, my name is Anthony.
Oh, no, dude. It's a good thing I never did that because I probably would have gotten in trouble for it because I would be creating names.
Wow.
Because I do that all the time.
Wow.
You know, that's how Tony got his name, because I was like, nobody ever finds him. He's roaming Tony. All right. With that, this
Hold
is
on.
Written Ralph.
Wait, you're forgetting. Don't forget to check us out also on Mondays for The Bit and Apple Bites, and Leslie's show on Tuesdays. And we'll be back here again next week on The Late Night with Written Writ Ralph. And don't forget to check us out this weekend at the name of convention, Lou's not here, so the name now escapes me. Tabletop RPG game at Cradle of Aviation.
Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo.
There we go. See,
And make sure
Lou's
to
not
see
here.
Tom
We miss you,
Deadly
Lou.
at New Jersey HorrorCon this Saturday, Sunday, and Friday. Maybe
It's
not
the other way around. Friday, Saturday. I
I got
don't
9, 10, okay? 8, 9, 10.
As long as I show up the right day, I'm
exactly. And of course,
forget
John Ottinger will be at
like-
San Diego Comic-Con, and if we can make it there, we're gonna see him. Because that's the goal, to make it to San Diego. Well, actually, I got 2 goals: the San Diego Comic-Con and E3. And E3 is not
E3's
happening
done.
this year, so
E3 is done. They canceled it. There's no
I know they
more.
canceled it for the year. I know.
Oh,
It's
I
not
went
the
last
year. They're
year.
saying long term.
I went last
We'll
year.
see what happens.
Sat on my couch, watched it on TV. It's great.
Nintendo
right.
was ahead of that.
With that, I'll do what I always do. I'll talk through the whole thing, say, hey,